Welcome everybody to our regular city council meeting dated October 25, 2021. At this time, we will call our meeting to order and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time we'll move into the approval of the agenda. You were all given the agenda, had an opportunity to look it over the weekend. Any questions on the agenda? Any comments? At this time, I'll ask for any motions.
Wanted to check with the city administrator. You had mentioned one item might be pulled from the consent agenda.
Item 5C, HRA board appointment.
That is correct. Before we approve the agenda, could we hop in and get our newly appointed council member sworn in? We'll get him officially sworn in, and then we can take some action on the agenda. But yeah, the consent agenda does have something coming up.
We'll circle back to that. Thank you for pointing this out. I want to welcome Mark Huntington back to the city council. You've served in the past 2 other times, I believe, and we're delighted to have you back. And at this time, we want to dot our I's and cross our T's and give you an opportunity to be sworn in, and you're going to read the oath if you would for everybody.
Sure.
Thank you, Mark.
I am Mark Huntington, an elected city council member of the city of Sueur. Do affirm that I will faithfully perform the duties of my elected office, and I will support and honor to the best of my ability all applicable laws to the city of Sueur County, and the Constitution of the United States and Minnesota, as well as any appropriate policies and procedures adopted by the Sueur City Council. I hereby, through my oath of office, affirm that I will perform the duties of this public trust in a fair, equitable, and ethical manner, befitting dignity and responsibilities of the office to the best of my judgment and ability for my role of the Sueur City Council, as well as any boards, commissions, or other appointed positions.
Thank you, Council Member Huntington. Again, welcome back on behalf of the City Council.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to wish him well?
Yes.
Thank you. So we will then circle back to the at this time the consent agenda. Back to the approval of the agenda. So we were all given that and haven't had an opportunity to look it over. At this time, I'll accept any motions.
I'll make a motion with the change of removing item 5C HRA board appointment.
Okay. We've had a motion made to approve the agenda with the removal of 5C HRA board appointment.
And a second.
Got a second from Mr. Sullivan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to presentations. You have something there?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay,
so we have a group here. I believe they go by the Concerned Citizens of Sueur County. Is that correct? They've requested some time, part of the public comment period, to talk about election integrity. Per city council policy, you have 5 minutes to talk, and we'll just go from there. And if city council, if they feel there's any questions that are warranted, they can follow up with questions. But generally, we just kind of thank the presenters for being in and being here.
Thank you. Ann, is it Ann? Yeah. Last name again? You want to step up to the podium, please?
I'm going to ask first if the council would be willing to let the speaker that was prepared for tonight, I can take over, but she's on her way. She's about 10 minutes out. Would that be possible?
I think we can circle back if we can cover other business as we wait. That'd be fine.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are considered routine and have been made available to the city council at least 2 days in advance of the meeting. The items will be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests, in which event The item will be removed from the agenda and considered in normal sequence. We've had one item removed. Mr. Kruger, would you want to take us down this road and familiarize us a little more with these items?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Kirby, members of City Council. You have the minutes before you from the previous meeting on October 11th, 2021. You have disbursement approvals through today, October 25th. Those totaled just over $309,000. One of the items to note was the televising and reporting of sewer lines. We do 25% of our sewer lines every year. That's on there. And then our sales tax that we pay to the state was the next highest disbursement at just under $44,000. The HRA board appointment has been removed. That individual will be on the next agenda for Recreation and Park Advisory Committee appointment. The next we have is the Mitch Thune boot hockey event request. This is something that's put on every year, minus last year because of some COVID restrictions, but it's at our outdoor ice rink in February. It's a fundraiser event for, I think, Be the Match, bone marrow. So it's a good event, and they just request permission from City Council each year to do that event out at the outdoor ice rink. Personnel actions, we have a Zamboni, a part-time Zamboni driver looking to be approved. We have the next item is trees for planting as street trees. This is something that the RPAC group looked at the last meeting and made a recommendation to City Council to adopt these trees. This tree list is the list that's used for street projects when we replace boulevard trees that will get placed on the boulevards when trees have to get cut down for street projects, also in our parks and things like that. And then lastly, we have a resolution declaring our polling place or designating it, and it's here at City Hall again for 2022. And that's all we have on the consent agenda tonight. I'll entertain any questions if there are any.
Anybody have anything for City Administrator Krugel? Any comments? Otherwise, I'll accept any motions.
Motion to approve.
We've got a motion from Mr. Sullivan.
Second.
Seconded from Mr. Swanberg. Any other discussion, comments, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to public comment. Public comment provides an opportunity for the public to address the council on items that are not on the agenda. Comments will be limited to 5 minutes per person. Persons wishing to make a comment must sign in advance in advance of the meeting and provide us with their names and address. This time, do we have anybody that'd like to address the council? Are you folks prepared to address the council before we move into our regular agenda?
I think they're all here, Mayor, for our presentation.
They're part of the presentation.
Right. I'm asking if you're ready to do so now because we're going to move into the regular agenda. Meeting starts at 6:30. Anybody want to present now?
Is that what you prefer?
I do, yes. Thank you.
So there's no public comment, just the presentation.
Just the presentation. No other public comments, so you will be the only presentation tonight. Thank you. I'm sorry, and state your name if you would, please.
My name is Ann Wilsinski, and I'm here with a group of the Sueur County citizens concerned about election integrity. First, we would remind you just how important you are as a local city council. Ours is a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Is the microphone on?
Good question.
Yeah.
Green light, sounds good. All right, thank you. Local municipalities are the grassroots of elections in Minnesota. You, as the city supervisors, are in control of the election process in your town. We feel it is our duty and privilege to come before you to ask for your help in addressing our concerns about election procedures. We citizens of Sueur County, along with many citizens across the United States, are concerned about what has been happening in the last several elections. Cities and townships pardon me. So we would like to share on a few of our concerns for a desire for legal, honest, legitimate elections. Our first concern is voter identification. We are required to have an ID for driving, boarding a plane, getting a library card, applying for a job, and much more. A picture identification begins the process of voting legitimately. Our second concern is that in Minnesota, voters can now cast their vote up to 45 days before Election Day. With that, Minnesota has the longest early voting period in the country. Tradition and law have always dictated one election day. This ensures election integrity. Our third concern is secure machines. For the sake of time, I will not quote from a 2019 committee report that the U.S. Congress delivered. It is signed by 4 legislators, including our own Minnesota, Amy Klobuchar. But we do have a packet of information for each of you, or whoever wants them, and that report is included in that packet. This particular report, however, was written in 2019, nearly 2 years ago. Much information has been uncovered about these issues with machines since then, including information about voting machines being connected to the internet, causing more potential interference with voting. Hand-counted votes or machines that are not connected to the internet ensure an honest election with no outside interference. Even though you as city supervisors may not be able to directly influence the procedures I have just presented, we ask you as private citizens to be aware of them. Election integrity begins at the local level. We encourage you to contact your legislators if you are concerned, as we are, about any of these issues. Lastly, we bring forward our primary concern, which is mail-in balloting. Now, to verify our information, you are in-person voting in Sueur, correct?
I can't speak for that. I know I do. Yeah.
But I mean, you have a polling place that your citizens can go to, and there's always absentee balloting, of course, which we support. So the purest form of government is at the local level, and election integrity begins there. A chain of custody belongs to each and every ballot. With mail-in voting, all votes are counted at the county offices. They do not originate at the local municipality. By approving mail-in ballots, a city or precinct has eliminated one step in the security of the voting process. At the city level, we watch our ballot go into the machine. We know the election judges and we trust them. If we can trust the counting machines, we know our ballot is counted. The chain of custody really begins at elections where the community can come together at their local city or township. We are asking all county precincts to remain or return to in-person voting, using absentee ballots only for those who truly cannot get to the polls. According to Carol Blaschko, the Sueur County Election Administrator, 11 of the 25 precincts plan to be mail-in only for 2022. This can be changed, she told us, by the precinct up to 90 days before an election. And we do have an amendment to that because Cordova Township has put in a resolution to the county auditor to repeal mail-in voting and go back to in-person voting. We began this process ourselves, knowing there were a lot of things we didn't know. We've learned a lot, and we continue to learn about the election process. Our county, township, and city officials have added to that knowledge. We are here to voice concerns and hopefully to open up discussion that will benefit everyone. If you do have any questions, we're happy to take them now. And otherwise, I thank you very much for your attention.
And we appreciate, is it Ann, correct? We appreciate you addressing the council. We appreciate your concerns. And ironically enough, I did talk to a couple of our election judges over the weekend. And I have nothing but confidence in our community and in the way we conduct elections here locally. And I might make a recommendation. You do talk to your state and county auditors and make sure you're comfortable with how things are done also. So.
Oh, yes, we have
Anybody else
been
have any
doing that.
questions?
Okay.
Thank you.
And may I leave a
Oh.
packet? Would each of you like one? or-
Please.
Okay.
If you want, you can leave them up at the table and I'll disperse them out. I just need one for the record as well.
Moving on to the regular agenda. Item number 7A, public hearing. 2021 City Council Board and Commissions appointments, updates. We're going to make some changes there with our new councilman. And if you want to walk us through that, Administrator Krugel, please.
Yes, thank you very much. So Mark Huntington, who is now here and recently sworn in, was appointed to fill the vacancy on City Council at the last meeting. Mr. Huntington is proposed to fill the following board and commission seats through the end of the year. Generally, we have these every year, so it's only for the next couple months here. But filling the position at the Planning Commission as the City Council liaison as a non-voting member, the Recreation and Park Advisory Committee as the vice chair, the voting member, which is a voting member, and then the Region 9 Development Commission, who's as an alternate. Also, as part of this exercise, Councilmember Sullivan moved into the vice chair position. It would be in the motion that's recommended to move Mr. Sullivan back into the ex officio position on the RPAC group. And the motion, the action requested is up before you, basically appointing Mark Huntington to the Planning Commission, RPAC, Region 9 as the alternate, and then moving Marvin Sullivan as the City Council ex officio member to the RPAC group. So kind of cleaning everything up for the next couple months. And then at our organizational meeting, that first meeting in January, then we'll look at reappointing. So if there's some movement there, we can move and reappoint accordingly at that time. So this is only for a couple meetings, maybe potentially. So I'll entertain any questions, but generally we're just looking for a motion in a second and discussion.
New member moved a few shells around. So the action request is upon you up on the screen. If you don't have any questions from Mr. Krugel, anything, concerns?
Mr. Mayor, I'll so move.
Thank you, Mr.
Second.
Krugman. Seconded by Mr. Schleter. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. Council, at this time, I'd like to take an informal vote. All those, well, before we do an adjournment though, got to go through the comments and concerns. Anything you want to share with community movements, anything that's happening with your committees, this is your chance, this is your platform. We'll start with Councilmember Krogman.
Mr. Mayor, I do not have anything. Thank you.
Nothing. City Councilmember Lozey, not here tonight. City Councilmember Schleter.
Region 9 Development, we had a full board meeting on Wednesday, the 13th. Just wanted to point out that Region 9 still has approximately $400,000 available to loan out to businesses affected by COVID. 0% for the first 2 years, 2% thereafter. And if Region 9 doesn't use these funds within the next month or so, they need to give them to another region. So just so the EDA is aware of it, there's some additional funds that are out there. Planning Commission, Thursday the 14th, they received the preliminary Future of the City Forum results. After the final results are in, the Planning Commission will be providing an in-person report to the council on the recommendation for the Future of the City Forum survey review and the event, and they'll be doing that at a November council meeting. Highway 169, there were 2 meetings. I missed the end of the first one, the beginning of the second. I need to go back and watch those because Planning Commission. HRA on Wednesday, the 20th, Pam Williams was voted in as the chair until the next election in January to replace Mark Huntington. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilmember Schluter. Councilmember Sullivan.
Nothing other than welcome back, Mark.
Thank you. I'll circle back to you, Mr. Huntington. Councilmember Swanberg.
Nothing tonight.
Thank you. And Councilmember Huntington.
I have a couple of things. First of all, thank you very much for putting me back on city council. And second one I have is I are instituting a meet your council member forum or meet coffee, whatever, for myself. We'll be at Hillside Court this Thursday at 9 to 10 in the morning. And then we're going to have one in the evening as well as 6 to 7 for people who couldn't make it for the morning one. It's going to be an informal thing for the citizens of Sueur to come visit, talk about city issues or whatever, ask questions. If I can answer them, I'll try to answer them. Now that I'm newly on, it's going to be kind of hard, but I will find the answers for the city, the citizen who asked the question, and bring it to the next city council member as an answered question. Haven't quite decided whether this will be a weekly deal or it'll probably be at least twice a month. And it'll be at different locations around. We're going to put it on the city website once I get it along with Jasper and Stacy Lawrence and discuss that kind of stuff. I asked of the city council members, my fellow council member, to join in, but unfortunately, we do not want more than 3 people. That's including me. So 2 other council members, if choose to come, mayor's welcome as well. All I ask is that you contact me beforehand. That way we're not in conflict for open meeting law.
Very good.
That's right.
Are you doing the first one until time?
What morning? This Thursday.
Mind if I join you for that one?
Okay.
I plan on being there too. And if you have a 4th, I will excuse myself. So.
Okay.
All right, very good. So I will try and plan on being at that at 9 o'clock on Thursday. I'll join you there. Hospital board meeting tomorrow for myself at 3 o'clock at the hospital. I hope to share some news with you at the next meeting. Other than that, that's all I have. Administrator Krugel.
Thank you. I just have one thing. We have the kind of grand opening of Main Street. That's on Monday, November 1st at 9 a.m. There will be a ribbon cutting ceremony at that time. And then after that, I think we're going to have a police car drive through, and then it'll be open to vehicular traffic to everybody. So Main Street will be open and we'll be good to go. So it's in public's welcome to be there. It'll be a small event. The big event will be in June or next year sometime to kind of celebrate it once all the fixtures and things that are on back order show up. But we think it's important to get vehicular traffic going through with the businesses that are opening up. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Looking forward to that. That's exciting. Long time coming. Okay, with that, that's I'm looking for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
No, the Main Street.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw that. No, I saw that. I thought you meant about this.
Oh, no.
I knew all about that. When Stacy. No, I'll be there.
I haven't heard back.
If he wants to see it.
Oh, yeah.